Hello everyone, this is Ritika. Are you stuck up in writing and you don't know how to improve the same, or even you're not aware about the mistakes that you make? Then do watch my today's video. In this video, I will be evaluating an essay. We will discuss the mistakes made by the student, and also we will discuss that how we can improve further. Lastly, I will share the predicted band score for the essay that I will be evaluating. So don't go anywhere, be with me till the end. Let's get started. Before we start evaluating the essay, first let us have a look at the question. So the question says, some students tend to travel after finishing school and spend time working somewhere instead of going to the university directly. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this development? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your knowledge or experience. So here the question simply means that after completing their schooling, that is +2, nowadays some students, they don't prefer to directly enroll themselves to the universities. What they prefer, they take a break, and during that break they like to travel and work somewhere. You need to mention the advantages and disadvantages of the same. Now let us start evaluating the essay. So the introductory paragraph: education is mandatory to survive and thrive in this competitive era. A good start for the essay. Student used the words like survive, thrive, mandatory. So I must say that here is a good use of vocabulary. It's a positive start. Like the first line is relevant to the topic about education, and the vocabulary is also good. Let us move further. Every person wants to move on the ladder of success to make their future more productive and realistic. Okay, this realistic word here is not going with the context. Okay, making future more productive is fine, but not realistic. So it is not the appropriate choice of word. Moving further, the importance of working, which was debatable, has now become more controversial. So this sentence is not properly framed. The very first concern here. Maybe like student could have written it that way. The importance of working, which was already debatable, has now become even more controversial. Right. Apart from that, there is another concern that I have. First of all, these two sentences are not at all in sync. Your ideas cannot scatter here and there while writing, right? You need to connect the paragraphs and connect the sentences together, which is missed here. So I believe that these two sentences are nowhere syncing. Apart from that, and these two topics, there is no need to add too much of information in the introductory paragraph. Keep introduction paragraph just for mentioning the general statement, your paraphrasing, the paraphrasing of the question, and the thesis statement. There is no need to write a lot, and those details, these details may take you off topic. That exactly has happened with this student in this essay. Okay, so these two sentences, if student will not write, then also it will work. Now, few educators after completing their degrees. Okay, so first of all, wrong word. It should be students, right? Not educators. Apart from that, apostrophe is wrongly placed here. After completing their degrees. So here, student went off topic. Degree is something that we get from our university after completing our tertiary education or masters. But when we are talking about school, then degree word will not go here. So after completing their schooling, wants to work somewhere. Wants, no. With students, students is plural. So here it would be want. Subject to verb agreement error. This is one of the most common error made by several students. Okay, so please make sure not to make such kind of mistakes. To work somewhere instead of joining in the universities. Joining the universities will work in is not required here. Even though it has inevitable drawbacks. However, in my perceptions, no, it should be perception. Advantages are far more than disadvantages, which I would expound in the forthcoming paragraphs. Okay, so here the last sentence is nicely framed. However, the question is not asking your opinion. What is your opinion? Advantages are more or the disadvantages are more. So in such cases, I would recommend there is no need to express your opinion, right? When it is not asked, then there is no need to express your opinion. But if the student has written it in this way that, okay, in his opinion, that advantages are more, then also it is acceptable, because in the end, like both the body paragraphs, student will be talking about the advantages and disadvantages only, so we can accept that. Now moving further on to the body paragraph. Indeed, doing job somewhere are important nowadays, not are. It should be is. Here, student will definitely lose his band in grammatical range and accuracy, because the sentence formation is not precise and there are several grammatical errors also. So, doing job somewhere is important nowadays. Youngsters wants, again, subject verb agreement here. With youngsters, it should be want, to earn name and fame as well as money so that they can meet to their needs. To is not required here, they can meet their needs. Okay. Apart from grammatical errors, what I feel here is that student is somehow not on the topic. The topic is not about, in general, what is the importance of working. Student actually overgeneralize the topic. The topic is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of working in that particular time frame after completing the schooling and taking a break before going to the universities. What are the advantages of working during that time frame? But here, student overgeneralized the topic and went off topic in that case. So what will happen here? Student will lose the band in task response as well. Okay, now let us move further. For instance, my friend who was a college going student. Okay, so first of all, the question is not about college going student. The question is about the school students who have completed their schooling, joined a company after completing his bachelor's. See, not after completing his bachelor's degree, no. The topic is about after completing school. And now he is an assistant manager in that company. He is fulfilling all his needs, hence earning a money from young age, teaches pupil how to become an independent dash. Okay, again, grammatical error. The very first error is earning a money. Article is wrongly placed here. No need of a here. Okay, so hence earning money from young age teaches pupils how to become an independent. If the student is writing an here, then there should be something after independent, like how to become an independent person, right? But if student has not written anything, then this an is not required. He placed the article incorrectly. So can you notice here, there are so many grammatical errors related to subject verb agreement, related to prepositions. So definitely it will impact the grammatical accuracy band adversely. Now moving on to the next body paragraph. Probing further, okay, a good start. With probing further, it means that student linked the second body paragraph with the first one, and with probing further, it is clear that in this paragraph also student will talk about the advantages. Let us have a look. Probing further, working in other areas helps students. Other areas means, here the idea is not explained properly. Working in other areas means which areas? You need to be specific while writing. Okay, I believe that here student is trying to say that working in several domains. So working in several domains helps students to become a multitasking person. Okay, it can enhance the skill of pupil. This sentence is not framed nicely at all. Here student was having two ideas, right? Very first is being a multitasker and second is skill improvement, right? So instead of making such small sentences, student could have merged these sentences and like with the use of not only but also. See how student could have combined these two sentences. Probing further, working in several domains not only helps students to become a multitasker but also improve or groom these skills. So this is how a complex sentence could be framed. Also, there is one more error when student ended the sentence here. So this I should be capital. Now let us read the example. For example, if a college-going student is working, again college-going student, but the question is not about college-going student, is working, he or she can live a healthy lifestyle. Okay, in example, student is talking about healthy lifestyle, but in idea, it was about multitasking or skill improvement, right? So this example is somehow not relevant with the idea that student generated. They will also become responsible in their lives. Again, generate examples which are relevant to the ideas, but here neither responsibility nor healthy lifestyle is relevant to the idea. So again, in this paragraph, student was not able to frame ideas or examples which are relevant to the topic. As an illustration, okay, so initially student cited the example. As an illustration means another example which is not at all required. Rather than supporting single idea with two examples, it is better to write two ideas and explain any one of the idea with the example. Still, let us have a look. As an illustration, working will improve their communication as well as they know the tradition and culture of those areas. Again, improper sentence formation. First of all, as an illustration is not at all required here. Rather, student could have presented it as a separate idea with the help of a linker like furthermore. Furthermore, working will improve their communication. Instead of communication, we can write communication skills as well as they know the traditions and cultures of those areas. Again, those areas means which areas? This has to be explained here. Okay, so these things will definitely impact the band score of the student adversely. Now, let us move on to the next body paragraph. Okay, so the student started the paragraph with however. Again, a good start. It means here also student linked this body paragraph with the previous one. And here, however, shows that in this paragraph, student will talk about the contradictory information. It means disadvantages. Let us have a look. However, migrate somewhere student has written. So no, this is incorrect. Migrating somewhere for job will impact on student's life. Again, incorrect sentence formation. On is not required first of all. And after that, if students is written, then there should be apostrophe. So sentence would be, however, migrating somewhere for job will impact students' life. Okay. They can face language barriers as well as cultural barriers. Again, there is no need of making such small sentences. These two sentences could be merged again with the help of any conjunction. See here. However, migrating somewhere for job will impact students' life as they can face. Avoid using models like can. Be sure on your ideas. As they face language barriers as well as the cultural barriers. For instance, according to the survey conducted by Education Department of India. Okay, this sentence is incomplete itself. Here, student mentioned according to the survey. So when the student is mentioning about survey, then there should be something, the report or the result of those surveys which are missing here. See, for instance, according to survey conducted by Education Department of India, punctuation errors E, D and I should be capital here, and report is missing, incomplete example. There are few professors in the universities because the students are moving other countries for working purposes. Again, so many grammatical errors. It seems that student is having a lot of trouble in sentence formation. There are few professors in the universities because students are moving other countries is wrong. Moving to other countries for working purposes, no, for work purposes. Okay, grammatical errors, fine, we have corrected. still I'm not able to convince myself with the information that student has provided here. It is not directly conveyed that what he is trying to say, this statement is not relevant with the topic. Now moving further, as a result, educators are lacking knowledge. No, students, not educators. Students are lacking knowledge if they will not enroll themselves in universities. No. Sentence formation is not apt here. Even the ideas in this paragraph are not at all convincing, even not on the topic also. It's a matter of concern. Now, let us move on to the conclusion. To conclude, although traveling to other places for work will be perilous for youngsters as they can face difficulties, but I believe that doing job will help them to achieve their goals. Okay, conclusion here is somehow acceptable. Student talked about the disadvantage that why it is perilous for youngsters as they can face difficulties. It would be better that here if student could mention the difficulty. Likewise in upper paragraph he talked about language barriers or cultural barriers that could be explained here further. But I believe that doing job will help them to achieve their goals. Okay, so this is fine. Conclusion is still acceptable. So now here what I feel is that student was not able to frame the sentences, nor he was able to generate the ideas which are relevant to the topic. So here in this question, simply the ideas could be, if I talk about advantages, then what can be the advantages? Think like what can be the advantages of working in that particular time frame. The very first advantage, I think that the students they will be able to collect funds, right, for their further education, so that their parents need not to take any debt or any kind of educational loan, right? What can be the another advantage? Another advantage here would be they will be having the better idea once they will work in a particular domain. So they will get to know about their interest and what kind of subjects they should choose for their tertiary education, right? And lastly, of course, they will gain the experience, which is like important, right? So simple ideas could be explained here, but make sure that your ideas should be relevant to the topic. Now, if I talk about the disadvantages, then what can be the disadvantages here? The very first disadvantage is like if once students will start earning, so it is very difficult for them to gravitate back towards studies. So if they won't do it, if they won't take the admission further, so what will happen? They will be having these stagnant career growth, right? To grow in their career exponentially, then definitely they need to build their skills, and for that tertiary education is important. So this can be described as the another disadvantage. Now let us assess the students' performance on the 4 criteria on which the essays are assessed in IELTS. So the very first is task response. If we look at the ideas generated by a student, then somehow in body paragraph 1, the idea was not related to the topic. In second paragraph, idea was somehow relatable, like they become multitasking or they can enhance their skills. Okay, but here the example was not relevant. Moving on to the third paragraph, disadvantage. Here it was very difficult to understand what student was trying to convey. So I believe because the ideas were not that much relevant, neither the examples were relevant to the ideas that student generated, he went off topic. So that is why he will lose his band in task response. Moving further, the next criteria that we have here is coherency and cohesion. In coherency and cohesion, okay, it was somehow achieved. Why I am saying so? Because student tried to link the body paragraphs with one another. He used probing further, however. So he tried to link body paragraphs, but somehow because the sentences were not linked with each other, the ideas were scattered here and there. Along with the paragraph, it is equally important to connect the sentences, which was missing here, but it was better than task response. I won't say that student here will get the band 7. Okay, but it would be better than task response. The next criteria here is lexical resource, which was moderate here. Okay, student used certain words, certain good words like moderate, survive, thrive. Few other words were used. So that were good. So it was good. However, here we cannot ignore the incorrect usage of words, such as using educators in place of students, right? So this thing will not be ignored in exam, and definitely it will impact the band score in lexical resource as well, but somehow better again than task response or grammatical range. Now moving on to the grammatical range and accuracy. Then again, in grammatical range and accuracy, a student will definitely lose his band because he was not able to frame complex structures. Several grammatical errors, like in each and everything, prepositions, tenses, punctuations, subject verb agreement. So there were a lot of grammatical errors. So definitely student will lose band here also. So in this case, the predicted band as per me for this essay, it would be either 5 or 5.5. This is it from my side today. I hope you liked the video and you must have understood that what kind of mistakes may lead you to a lower band score. So please start practicing now and refrain yourself from making those mistakes that we have discussed today. If you want to watch more such writing evaluations, the higher band writings, if you want to see, maybe I can show you a 7.5 band writing or a band 9 writing, then don't forget to subscribe our channel and of course do like the video. Thank you.